Traders, how are you? Marcello, founder of the Day Trading Academy, co-founder of Speed Up Trader. Today, I want to explain why we're going to see a bit of a market crash on Monday, the 4th of May. So, as every Sunday, if you guys don't know, I teach people how to trade in the futures markets. I've been doing it for years. Market literally is about to open about 30 minutes at 6 p.m. on Sunday. And I was doing what I usually do, looking at my charts. I'm mainly investing in silver miners. Remember, this is only for educational purposes. Those regulators want to make sure we get that out there. So, only for educational purposes, not trading advice. We're not trading advisors. We don't trade people's money. But there's a few things that I saw, especially the situation with Warren Buffett, which I think is going to create a very chaotic situation for May. Not necessarily, the old adage that everybody says, sell in May and go away, because that's, it's kind of a rumor, let's say. But I think kind of the things that he said and the behavior that he took is going to be something that we definitely need to watch out for. Now, so far, we've had the absolutely best results under the circumstances, especially with the coronavirus. The Dow, which is the main stock in the United States, if you guys didn't know, if you're not, let's say, traders or investors, I got the numbers here. Give me 1 second. The Dow had the best month since, let's see here, 2002, I believe it was. No, here it is. Yeah. So Dow had the best performance since 2002. The S&P 500 had the best results since 1974 in April. And the NASDAQ, which is literally, roughly 4% from its high, all-time high, it's had its best results in 1987. Now, here we go. There's an interview that popped up. I think it was Saturday that it came out, and Warren Buffett said, "I sold all my airline stock." Now, this guy, if you guys know, is known as the Oracle of Omaha, right? And when he does, obviously he's going to do the whole media thing where he's going, everything's going to be fine, and, it's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think things are going to be great in May. We're going to have a situation where Monday, on the 4th, I think we're going to see a huge market crash. I'm going to publish this literally on Monday, so some of you guys might see it on Monday or Tuesday. And in May, I think we're going to have a really volatile month. For most of you guys that have for most of you guys that are investing stocks or have your retirement accounts, we're getting ready to reach a lot of these all-time highs overall, even though we're still down double digits for some of these markets. But we're going to have a situation where we're going to have the states and even some economies overseas say, okay, we're going to start opening and maybe not open. So we're going to have a bit of a seesaw. And I think what we're going to see is probably a lot more volatility. If you guys don't know what volatility is, it's actually the range in movement, right? So, investors like Warren Buffett, for example, what he generally does is he buys something, whether it's a company or stock, and just holds it forever until he doesn't think he needs it anymore, and then he sells it. He literally invested about $10 billion recently in 2 oil companies where he gets preferred stock, and he's going to be paid 8% per year on that investment. So in one of those investments in these oil stocks, he's going to get about $800 million in interest a year. If you guys don't remember, I talked about the dividend stocks in oil, right? Where if you really diversified your assets, a lot of these oil companies haven't dropped their dividends since the Second World War. Shell dropped it by 66%, but if you were able to follow Warren Buffett's advice and be greedy when the market is fearful and be fearful when the market is greedy, when we had that huge drop, I did that video talking to you guys about, a lot of these dividends were actually a steal, and it was 18% then. I believe now it was probably anywhere between 7 to 10%. I haven't done the calculation, but on Monday, get prepared. If you guys are able to see this video, I'm going to send an email out for a lot of you guys can see it. But we have a situation where the bad news in the economy is only getting started. In the first quarter, we had a situation where the GDP crashed 4.8%, and that's January, February, March. Remember, March is when everything started closing down. We literally had an entire month now of April where everything was closed down. And now we're getting into the second month, which is May. And a lot of the expectations of the experts, they're saying that we're going to probably have something along the lines of negative 30 or 40% GDP. Even though now we do have a lot of states that are starting to open up their economies, and we have a little bit of we had a little bit of a clash with the public, right? You saw, I don't know if you guys saw in Michigan, we had a situation where we had rioters with guns go into the Congress, the government offices in Michigan to protest the stuff that's going on with the lockdowns there because, you know, she said, like, I'm paraphrasing here. If some of you guys are from Michigan, leave it there in the comments, but she basically said, well, boats can't go on the water, but you can take a sailboat, something ridiculous like that. So we had a situation where we're having pretty bad economic news. Google is starting to report a situation. Amazon is saying, you know, don't worry about the profit. Our shareholders, you know, we need to focus on other things now, safety. And so we're going to have a situation where this is going to be elongated a little bit. I don't think we're going to have a V-shaped economy. I think it'll most likely be probably more of a W-shaped where, you know, we hit down, we're going to hit the recovery, everything's going to start opening again, but then we're going to start getting all this bad news that things aren't as great as they're supposed to be, and we're going to probably get another leg down. So I don't think we're going to have a super fast recovery overall. But you know, when Warren Buffett, I just want to do this quick video because when Warren Buffett says something along these lines, I think that most people are going to listen and most people are going to panic. And a lot of these airlines, for example, American Airlines, which is the biggest airline in the world, and others in the US are starting to require people to wear the face mask when you fly. I actually looked for a flight recently to Miami and there was only 4 flights with American and United when normally there's, you know, 20, 30, 50 flights. And I think a lot of this is not going to recover immediately. And if you guys don't remember, there was a news report that actually said that 1 out of 5 restaurants in the United States is actually going to close. It's not going to reopen after we get things back on board. So literally 80% of all the restaurants are not going to open at all. And I was watching the news the other day as well, and they reported, I can't remember what channel it was, that the majority of our economy is consumer-based, which means that the majority of the economy moves on us spending money. This is why, for example, the Fed, the central bank of the United States, drops the interest rates. A lot of these companies took out debt to buy their own stock to make the stocks go higher. Everybody feels rich because your retirement accounts and everything's explode, right? And then you go out and spend money, and then that makes the economy move. Well, now we have a situation where we have a ton of people that are unemployed and increasing. We have a lot of jobs that literally aren't going to come back like everybody thinks they're going to. And it's going to be a much longer recovery. And now we have Warren Buffett saying these kinds of things, which brings down the perception for people what the expectation is going to be. So I don't think necessarily that we're going to have a bad month per se. We might end negative, but I think we're definitely going to have, on the 4th of May, we're definitely going to have a situation where we're going to have a crash in the market, especially because of what Warren Buffett says, because obviously he's the Oracle of Omaha and he knows everything about the market. So I just wanted to do this quick video. I might do a little bit more of these videos where I talk about the markets and things like that. It's more what I'm interested in. We can't travel anymore and things like that. So maybe I'll do a lot more of these videos. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Don't forget #AskMarcello. Don't forget to subscribe here to the channel, and we'll see you next time.